Hey beautiful people, my name is Tim and welcome to one of my favorite places here on YouTube, my channel Draw Too Much. I hope that you guys enjoy yourself while you're here. I've been going through a series of showing you guys what programs I like to use when I'm doing my professional commissions. Now, it's a really big deal in my mind, personally, the fact that I've been drawing professionally since 2008. And I love what I do, but doing digital caricature means sometimes you have to have a lot of equipment, and going all the way to a big computer that can run a big screen that you draw on called a Wacom Cintiq, things like that. That's stuff that isn't very mobile. You can't really get around very much. But just recently, I picked up an iPad Pro, and it has changed my life. I am not kidding. I love this thing. It's amazing. It blows my mind. I originally did not want an iPad Pro, and I got myself a Surface Pro 4, which truly does not stand up to the quality of the iPad Pro. I am not a fan of I'm not a fan of Apple. At least I wasn't, but I am now. I'm quickly converting over to Apple, and I love it. So basically, I've been going through a series of programs to show you guys what I used to draw. Our first episode, we went through Procreate. Our second episode, we went through Sketchbook. Our third episode today, we're going to go through a program called Graphic, or an app called Graphic. It is, if I'm correct, made by Autodesk, and it's a very, very good program for some graphic needs. And this is going to be a very, very, very quick walkthrough. I haven't used it very much. The areas where I have used it, it's come in very handy, but this is going to be very, very quick. Basically, not even a walkthrough, more so as just a very quick introduction to graphics. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here so you can see it. Now, this is an image I completed for a client just recently. She loved it. But the benefit of this program is basically Illustrator. To an extent. Not to the full potential of Illustrator if you've ever worked with Adobe Illustrator. Adobe Illustrator is still my favorite program when it comes to doing vector graphics. But the ability to do things in this program that are vector style, and you can see some of the vector lines and things that are in this, is very, very useful. Just so you don't have to import to your computer or have to take artwork and then go into a whole different source to edit things. So there's a couple different options in here, and not much I'm going to talk to you about in here, but I do think that you should at least take a look at the program, because there is quite a bit that can be done in here. And they explain a lot of the different things. They give explanations to shape libraries, if you need to do layouts or floor plan designs or things like that. If you want to design some graphics from scratch, I mean, these are fully vectorized images built from scratch here on Graphic. So it definitely serves its purpose. It reminds me a lot of Illustrator, but it also reminds me a lot of Photoshop. I found that it's come in handy for Photoshop type stuff. Now, the one thing I have found that I think is a bit of a deficiency that I personally haven't seen a way to fix, I haven't really done much research on it, is the idea that you are stuck with their fonts. You can't add your own fonts like you can on a computer desktop, which makes sense. This is an app, for Pete's sake. But if you are doing what I do, for instance, you have an image of a client and you want to put some text on them, you have a very limited supply of text that you can use. But when it comes down to creating shapes and doing graphics and things like that, there is quite a series of options that you can do. You can grab shapes and you can drag these shapes out. You can change their color. You can adjust them in the same way that you would adjust stuff in Illustrator. It feels very smooth, and all with the idea that you can do it all with your hands and stuff like that. So there's a lot of potential here. You can pull in images. You can, bring in screenshots. I do find that it's very helpful to be able to pull in an image of something and apply a text to it. I admit, I learned about this program because I was using it on another iPad that I do for my day job, and I was able to create memes and things like that using this program. So there's a lot of benefits to it, not that I know many of, but the selection, the variety of things that you can do in this program are pretty wide. Not to mention, yes, you can actually draw in vector, and it will create vector lines that are adjustable. I don't know about pressure sensitivity. It does look like it does have a form. Yes, it does have pressure sensitivity. So you could draw in this program if you wanted to. And it looks like you could do some pretty cool vector stuff. I don't know if this saves out in an, I believe it may save out in a vector like SVG format, which is a decent format. And I'm going to be going into some future tutorials here where we're also going to be talking about the idea of taking an artwork and prepping it in vector. And I've learned a couple tips and tricks that I think are really going to help people out. If you have a client come in that wants a logo or something like that, there is something that I do that I think far surpasses some of the capabilities of even Adobe programming like Illustrator. So we're going to get into that in the future, but for now, this is a program you might want to look into. It seems to work very well for the most part. And then if you want to make changes to some of the things that you're doing here, and I do like that this canvas is quite immersive. You can do, you can fill up quite a large canvas, and then you can create artboards in the same way that you would in Illustrator. And then you can adjust these artboards and things. With your selection, you have the choice to do a whole bunch of stuff, whether you're working with strokes, fills, measurements, layers, canvases, alignments. I mean, this is trying to fight against Illustrator, and they're trying to do it in an app sense, and I think that that's very cool. I do wish I had the ability to have Adobe products here on my iPad, much like you would Illustrator or something like that. Yes, and I know Adobe does make those, but they do not make them nearly to the extent that they make their computer-based programs. So this is a really, really good option when it comes down to needing to work in layers or understanding vectorized shapes or building a vector graphic, a logo or something like that. It can be done in this program. It's going to take a little bit of time to learn. I do find that my knowledge of Illustrator does help me come in here with a little bit of a knowledge on how to work in graphics and things like that. If I needed to, I could build a vector graphic in this program. Would I choose to? Probably not. But the capabilities of being able to add text, doing things like I showed you here a second ago, in this case, like with this gal here, I drew the tree, but this circle background with the black stroke and the nice gradient through there was done in this program, and then later on I applied a text to it in Illustrator, which you can also apply the texts in here, but like I said, the fonts are minimal, and I want to make sure I have a wide selection of fonts. So if somehow, some way, this program was able to import fonts and bring them in here, that would be very, very interesting, and I think that that would double up on the quality of what this program could do. Even possibly the idea, I'm not a big fan of in-app purchases, but even the idea of purchasing in-app fonts, a wide variety of in-app fonts, even that would be a step in the right direction, I would think, for this program in comparison to, having to import into my desktop or into my laptop and do those functions. So there you go. That is just a very, very, very skimpy, quick walkthrough of this program. Just imagine that as a vector program. That's basically what it is. It's a really great way to start if you are a person wanting to learn about how to draw vector graphics. You can purchase this app, and it's a really good priced app for what it does. Put it to use, learn it, and then when you step into Illustrator and you're trying to do things on a more professional sense, you really can get somewhere with it. So this is a really great app that I use for little changes here and there when I need to do some basic stuff to my artwork, or I'm too much of a lazy bum to import it into my computer. So that's Graphic from Autodesk, and thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget, I have an amazing bunch of patrons and would greatly appreciate it if you would consider becoming a patron. The link is going to be in the description below. And then, of course, other than that, stop on by my Draw Too Much on Facebook. And that's where I have all of my artwork. I share all of my little videos and things that I've drawn on this app, and of course, all my videos and pictures and things like that show up here on that Facebook. And then one final comment: we do have a new Facebook group on there, and I love it. I love the people in there. Everyone's really cool. We are called Draw Too Much AA, or it's much like Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's Artists Anonymous, and the goal that we have in Artists Anonymous is to inspire you to stick with your addiction. We want you to keep drawing, and that's what the AA or Artists Anonymous is all about. So go on in there, become a part of the people in the group. Just ask for an invite, and we will get you locked in there. And very excited to see your artwork. It's an amazing place to get some boost when you share some artwork. There's a lot of people who jump in and go, "Oh, that's awesome!" And then if you want critiques, they offer great critiques to help you improve your artwork. It's just another little way that we're trying to start a community around art and have a good time. I got the hiccups. I am so sorry. God bless you guys. You are amazing and beautiful people. Keep being brave. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone when it comes to your artwork. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.